Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and here on this channel, we love our makeup with a fiery, burning passion, but we especially like using the makeup that we already own. We're not here for Instagram fame or TikTok fortune, though I do those things as well. We're just here for real makeup for our very real lives and real people like us. Today's video I am very excited to do. I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 palettes, including face and eyes, for summer of 2022. I am so excited to be moving into summer. Of course, when you're seeing this, it's not quite summer in the US yet, but I'm starting to feel summer vibes. It's starting to get hot outside here in northern Colorado, and I am just ready to start diving into this curated collection of palettes. You're going to see a lot of these palettes not only here on my YouTube channel, but also over on Instagram and TikTok, so stay tuned. Like, follow, subscribe, all the good things, and let's get into it. Let's talk about a couple of mini palettes to start things off. One of these will be no surprise to you. In fact, it was possibly in the roundup last year because it is a favorite for any time of year, but especially for summer, and that is my e.l.f. Bite Size Quad in the shade Pumpkin Pie. I have pan in this beautiful bronzy shade, one of my very favorite bronzy shades in my entire collection. We also have a beautiful copper and a couple of really beautiful mattes to pair with. This one is great to just get out the door. It's great for date night. It's great for every day. And I just really enjoy this one. I don't know why I am so passionate about this little $3-4 quad. My daughter did pick it out and purchase it for me. So that is definitely, you know, a part of it, I'm sure. But other than that, I mean, this looks like liquid metal. How much better could you do? I ask you. The next mini palette is another affordable one that we all like to rave about here on YouTube, and that is the Essence Coral Me Maybe palette. I really love this little thing. It was a gift from a subscriber and a friend, and I love this. I love every shade that's in here. The shimmers are gorgeous. I especially like this shade, which is this one up here. It's kind of like a plummy bronze. I don't know, it's very interesting, and that's the thing about the three shimmers in here, is they're all very interesting. First of all, I love me a good peach here in the center. This goldish one down here also has like a peachy base or a coral base to it, so they're all beautiful. This is a spectacular option on a budget for summer because you are just going to come out with beautiful, warm, summery looks. And further talking about affordable options, I highly recommend the Flower Beauty Desert Lights palette. You get 6 shades in here. They're all shimmery. And if you don't like glitter, I would not purchase this palette. But I mean, look at these stunners right here. I love this palette. I specifically love this shade down here, which is Sahara, but you cannot argue with the shine of these shadows. You have a great selection of warm colors. This gold in here is really beautiful as well, and I'm not even really a big gold eyeshadow wearer, but I really like the one that's in here. So I definitely recommend this one if you haven't picked it up yet, or if you have the Jungle Lights and you really enjoy this one. I really hope they continue on creating these, and I can't wait to see what that future will bring. Next, let's take a little break from eyeshadow and talk about one of the face palettes that I chose, and it is the Patrick Ta Major Headlines Blush Palette. Now this was I don't know if it's still available, limited edition, but he did bring all of these duos out as singles. So you can buy this separately, and this separately. And I definitely, if you have not tried a Patrick Ta duo like this, I feel like you're missing out. And I don't say that very often because I don't like to encourage people to buy or tell you you need things, but these are really, really exceptional. So you do have this little window. And each of these duos has a cream and a powder version. And I think these shades are especially fun for summer. They're bright, they're vibrant. This one is a nice warm rosy bronze shade. And then you have a couple of really bright pops that are gonna look great on either tan skin or fake tan skin. So I really enjoy these a whole bunch. I like mixing, you know, between them as well. You know, maybe this cream with this powder, and you get the idea. But I cannot wait to use this a whole bunch for summer. In fact, I might roll it into a project, you never know, just so I have the excuse to use it as much as I want. And the other face palette for this roundup is the Nars Orgasm on the Beach palette. Not my favorite name, if I'm being honest, but these shades are beautiful. It does make me think of summer because hubby flew me out to Vegas to meet him in Vegas when he was working out there last summer, and I picked this up right before and took it with me. And one of the other palettes, one of the eyeshadow palettes in here, I actually purchased in Vegas. So, you know, sometimes things are about the color story, but sometimes they're also about the feels they give me. And this definitely gives me summer feels. I absolutely adore this palette. This shade up here, it is bronzy, and I feel like I can pull it off as a bronzer. But it's also quite rosy as well. You could totally use it as a blush if you prefer. These two blush shades right here, of course this one is Orgasm. These two are kind of sheer. So I really like layering them over top of either the brown or this really rich, beautiful crimson color. And it is so gorgeous. And I think that's the great thing about face palettes is, of course, you have all the things you might need in a palette, but you also have them all there together, and mixing can be so fun. These are also the only Nars highlights that I own, and I really enjoy them. If they're regular highlights or anything like these, I am very interested in picking one up. I definitely want to put this into a Shop My Stash. I'm just kind of regularly rotating through my face palettes and using them, you know, until I feel like I've really gotten some good use out of it. I recently used my Charlotte Tilbury Nudegasm face palette for a good amount of time, so I'm definitely looking to get more usage out of this year, and I think the shades are perfect for summer. So the palette that I picked up in Vegas, and the palette that I have on my eyes today, and the palette that reminds me of my little vacay to Vegas last summer is the Natasha Denona Zendo palette. Now, I know not a lot of people loved this palette, but I am not one of those people. I absolutely love this palette. I did focus in on these three shades here today, and I used this one up here as a transition, but there's so many shades in here that I just love and really didn't understand why people didn't like this one. I really love this brown down here. It's called Sense, but it's like a bronzy brown with a little bit of a pink reflect, if you can see that. And I think it is such a gorgeous one shadow look. Or you could top it off with either Aura here or Tranquil down here, which is kind of like a Nars Orgasm shade, peachy pink base with a gold reflect. I really enjoy this palette. The only shade I don't get a lot of use out of is this one called Vigor, because I'm not a big red eyeshadow person. But the rest of the shades I get good usage out of. There's a couple of cream to powder shades in here that I absolutely adore, including this one right here called Breath. I mean, this is just like the only mint green that I ever want to use or have in terms of mattes in my collection. It is so beautiful and buttery, and I have that on the inner part of my lid with this on the outer part of the lid, and then this shade right here, which is definitely a standout, called Yama. I have this Yama shade kind of in between the light mint green and that army green, and I just love this palette. I love this look, and I can't wait to use it more this summer. All right, let's talk a couple more affordable palettes before we get into some expensive palettes. And the first one is the Juvia's Place Nubian 3 Coral palette. This is such a fun palette. I like it for fall too, but I specifically love this one for summer. And I love that they went there with the cool and the warm tones that are really meant to be paired together. I love, you know, going in with a cooler crease or, you know, that kind of thing, and then going in with something like this is my favorite shade in this palette and probably my favorite peach in my collection. There's just no bounds to this. I mean, it's just gorgeous, absolutely stunning. Definitely going to have to do a look with that one. Let me know if you'd like to see that on YouTube. If not, I'll probably just put it up over on Instagram. The silvers are really gorgeous. These mattes are stunning. I've used some of these mattes, specifically this one, as blush when wearing this palette. Beautiful. Juvia's Place mattes make beautiful face colors as well, or cheek colors. So if you have any Juvia's Place palettes, look in there, see what you can come up with. The powders of the mattes are so smooth and silky that they really glide on the skin and look fantastic. Unfortunately, RIP BH Cosmetics. I know they've been purchased by Revolution, but we haven't seen what's going to come from that and if they're going to leave the beautiful BH Cosmetics formulas intact. But until then, I love the Summer in Saint-Tropez palette. This is probably the most colorful palette out of the ones that I'm sharing with you today, but it really has some standout shades in here. I especially love these two duochromes, Exotic and Coastline up here. I really am going to miss BH Cosmetics, especially this specific formula. They had the travel collection, they had a brunch collection, and they were all in these square palettes with these square pans, and the formula is amazing. The mattes are very buttery and smooth and easy to work with, and I have a lot of favorite shades in here. So I'm definitely looking forward to using this more this summer, even though it's discontinued. And lastly, we have two very expensive Natasha Denona palettes. One is discontinued, but I will say this. Both of these palettes have dupes available for them from Alter Ego. I have owned the dupe for one of them and loved it, so I definitely recommend the dupes of these palettes. You know, if you're okay with purchasing the dupes, I recommend it because I think they're a great formula. But let's get into what the palettes are first. The first one is the Natasha Denona Gold palette, which has been discontinued, but it's still a favorite, and I know a lot of you out there own this one already, so I cannot wait to dip into this. It's one that I dip into pretty regularly for the neutral shades, but specifically like these shades, I never use this yellow gold one, but I feel like I have to find a way to use it. I'm taking it on as a personal challenge, but you know, overall, gorgeous. This one, especially lime chrome. So many people have tried to dupe this. I did find a dupe for it in the BH Cosmetics Original Zodiac palette. So if you have that, and then you also have one of her cream to powders in the shade Python. And then you have one of her chroma crystal shades in here. There's a couple of them, but this one specifically is the shade Sparks, which is just a beautiful sort of translucent white gold with a gold shift. I don't know, it's stunning. I love this one. Great staples as well in here for summer, and they do have a dupe for this through Alter Ego, so you know you can't get it anymore, but even if you could, $129 is not something to sneeze at, and that is why I would recommend the dupe for the next one as well, and that is the Natasha Denona Biba palette. I absolutely adore this palette. I want to roll it into a project or something, because while I love this palette with a fiery passion, I don't get a lot of use out of it. And I think partially because of project panning, but also because I know you guys enjoy a little bit more color when it comes to eye looks on the channel, etc. But I just love this. I think you know, you have your 3 shimmers that you would need to create any look in here. There's a champagne, there's a gold, and there's a bronze. So there are the 3 shimmers in the palette. That's all the shimmers there are. This needs a little oil job here. There are 4 of her cream to powder formula in here. You have Rayon, Tone, Tour, and Spot. Spot makes a great liner, being a cream to powder product, and I just find that to be even more easier than a liquid liner or a gel liner or like a pencil liner. I just love this. I really do. I can't say enough about it. I really can't even form any words other than I just love this color story and I want to use it all the time, and I'm gonna find a way to do it. So Squeaky over here was the last one. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I've been looking forward to, you know, prepping this video, deciding what products I would put in it, and, you know, talking to you guys about all of these palettes. I knew I wanted to include at least a couple face palettes, and I have a lot more summer 2022 content coming, so stay tuned for that. But also leave your requests down in the comments below, because I love creating content that you guys want to watch. I'm definitely planning blushes and lippies and things like that, but if there's any specific summer content that you would like to see, let me know down below. I also did recently put up a video about the clean girl makeup trend for oily skin, but it would also work for just anybody that's going to be out in the heat this summer to keep that makeup on your face but look stunning and effortless at the same time. So if you did enjoy today's video, I hope you'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days.